Let me tell you a story about one of our first opportunities to work in schools. And again, a pinnacle change in the way that we perceived the role of self-defense, and a pinnacle change in our want to bring tools to people like yourselves. We were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do a 6-week program for a school out west of Brisbane way. The initial course was the first interaction we had with students, all girls aged around 16, was a 3-hour talk about the things they can do to reduce the likelihood of finding themselves in a situation where they need to use physical tools, which, as I have said previously, is where my focus sits these days. The next 5 weeks, we did 1-hour session once a week for 5 weeks in combatives and defending holds and all those sorts of self-defense related topics. And on the last day, we brought together the package to include the release of chokes, the defense of chokes, because it's such a prevalent problem in society. After the process was complete, we had a whole lot of young people come up and say thank you for your time, which was fantastic. And then we were approached by a young woman, who I'll call Natalie for the purpose of this activity or this discussion. Natalie was a young 16-year-old girl, and she said to us, I really enjoyed the content, but I wish you'd shown me that last week. And we're like, oh, well, I'm pleased you enjoyed it, but why do you wish we'd taught you that last week? And she said to me and my wife, which essentially brought tears to our eyes immediately, and the realization of the magnitude of what we're doing in this industry. She said to me and to my wife, because my mother held my head under the water by my throat last night until I passed out and then revived me. We were like, what? That was our first dealing with, and don't forget, my wife and I hit the ground wanting to change the world, but that was our first dealing with the realities of society, right? We both come from great homes. We had this just cause that we were pushing for, but the reality of that just cause just came into fruition. This young girl was being constantly abused by her mother. Now, the biggest concern the young girl had was she didn't want to tell the school, because if she felt she told the school, they'd be obligated to report it to child welfare and she'd be removed from the home. Obviously, we are also obligated to inform people or government organisations if we are, suspect any kind of child abuse or anything like that. And here's the thing, though. I've been in the army, and I have met a lot of people that we would consider to be heroes, and they are heroes in their own right. But by that I mean they are being paid to do a job, and under that circumstances that job entails, they find themselves doing courageous acts, and they get adorned for that. This young girl, Natalie, said to us, I can't afford to be taken out of the house, because if I'm taken out of the home, the violence will turn to my brother and sister, my younger brother and sister, and I can't afford to that happen. Bam, there's a light bulb moment. Here's a true hero. Here is someone who on a daily basis puts their body on the line to protect the other people in their family, and they don't get any recognition for that. She was a true hero, and in a really, really unfortunate and terribly sad circumstance. We did our best to help her, and I believe that situation was dealt with quite successfully. However, it opened our eyes up to the fact that in our audience, a significant number of people had been through horrific things that, because I've been I've come from a good home that I can't even comprehend. And because so many of us have come from good homes, you don't even think exist in society. But I can tell you now, there's a reason we have a police force. The reason we have a police force is because, unfortunately, terrible things happen to good people every day. Good people like you and me. And our role, at In Defence anyway, is to just arm people with the tools so they can empower themselves to be safe and help others in their time of need as well. That's our mission. And we'll continue one way or another to complete that mission to the best of our ability.